Ted Cruz won the caucuses in Kansas and Maine, and they're still counting in Kentucky tonight. More on those GOP races and how the Democrats are doing in just a bit. But first, 4 in your corner, Stephanie Tinoco showing you the scene at Trump's rally on the campus of UCF in Orlando.
It wouldn't be a Trump rally without the business mogul touting his wins.
We won Virginia, we won Arkansas, we won Massachusetts.
Jabbing at his fellow Republican contenders.
Little Marco is going, well, Donald will not win. I mean, this guy's got so many problems. I don't think he'll come close to winning his own state.
And the crowd loving every minute of it. Thousands of supporters pouring into the arena in Orlando to hear what the Republican hopeful has to say, showing their adoration for him.
I loved it.
Even before the Donald took the stage to bash Marco Rubio, his warm-up act of speakers made sure to tweak the Florida senator in his home state.
Marco Rubio is in favor of giving your jobs and your futures and your children's futures away to the cheapest foreign labor in the world.
It wasn't all smooth sailing for Trump and his supporters.
Get out of here. Get out. Out.
Dozens of protesters interrupted the rally more than once and were escorted from the arena, which was just fine with Trump and his fans.
Look up there at the protester camera.
In between, Trump promised to get rid of Common Core and Obamacare while taking a hardcore stance on immigration. A wall supporters say they trust Trump will build.
He'll build a wall.
He'll do it.
Stephanie Tinoco, Fox 4. In your corner.
And that sound of the crowd you heard was build a wall, build a wall, build a wall. So what exactly did those protesters have to say about Donald Trump? Coming up at 10:30, we're going to have more from Stephanie in Orlando as they share the heart of their anti-Trump message and see how things got physical when the pro-Trump and the anti-Trump groups got a little bit too close for comfort. That's at 10:30. From Orlando, Donald Trump headed to the golf club that bears his name in West Palm Beach. We have a reporter there right now, and we'll keep you posted on what he has to say to the media there tonight. He's going to hold a press conference. But first, we want to break down who's winning and who's losing in each of today's caucuses and primaries, both for the Republicans and the Democrats. Correspondent Doug McElway has the latest.
5 states holding presidential contests Saturday. Republicans going to the polls in Maine, Kansas, Kentucky, and Louisiana. Texas Senator Ted Cruz winning in Kansas.
If Donald wins, in all likelihood, Hillary wins. And so we have to come together. We have to unite. It's why I've made a very explicit invitation.
Donald Trump looking to extend his lead in the fractious GOP race and taking shots at his GOP rivals, including Florida Senator Marco Rubio.
I watched it the other day where little Marco is going, well, Donald will not win. I mean, this guy's got so many problems. I don't think he'll come close to winning his own state.
Conservatism is not how loud can you be, how offensive can you be, how many bad words can you say, how many ridiculous things can you say on television. That is not conservatism.
Meanwhile, Democrats in Nebraska, Kansas, and Louisiana are choosing between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders.
In poll after poll, including a recent CNN poll, we are defeating Trump by pretty big numbers, and bigger numbers than Hillary Clinton is.
Clinton meeting earlier in the day with African-American ministers in Michigan to discuss voting rights and the Flint water crisis.
When I heard about Flint, I was just sick. We have to do much more to help the people in Flint.
Democrats in Maine and Republicans in Puerto Rico head to the polls on Sunday. Looming beyond this weekend's contests are the crucial primaries on March 15th in Ohio and Florida, which could make or break some of the campaigns. In New Orleans, Louisiana, Doug McElway, Fox News.
And on the Democratic side tonight, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders has won the Nebraska and Kansas presidential caucuses, Hillary Clinton winning the presidential primary in Louisiana. And this marks her 11th state win of the 2016 presidential race. Now, Ted Cruz winning something else today besides some caucuses. He won the straw poll among some very influential conservative activists who make up a group called CPAC. They're meeting in Maryland this weekend. Florida Senator Marco Rubio coming in second in that poll. Donald Trump was a distant third after he canceled the speech he was supposed to make to the group this morning, opting instead to hold rallies in Kansas and in Orlando, as we showed you. Correspondent Kristen Fisher has more.
It appears as though Trump's decision to skip CPAC may have hurt him in the straw poll. He came in a distant third to both Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz. Cruz won the straw poll with 40% of the vote. Rubio came in second with 30%, Trump 15%, and Kasich 8%. Now, Trump was the only Republican presidential candidate who did not speak at CPAC. He canceled less than 24 hours before he was supposed to speak. CPAC's organizers say he backed out because they refused to give in to his demands. They say he wanted more time to talk and no time for a Q&A. But Trump's campaign says that's not true. They say this was a strategic decision that he pulled out because people are voting or caucusing today, and he needed to be out on the campaign trail campaigning.
We've got to get out today. We've got to caucus. I'm going to go with you. We're going to caucus. And after making this huge U-turn to Kansas, if I lose, I'm going to be so angry at you. Oh.
And we now know Trump did lose Kansas. He lost to Ted Cruz. Well, Cruz and Kasich spoke at CPAC on Friday. Marco Rubio spoke this morning, and he was very well received. Rubio received his biggest applause, a standing ovation even, when he said that the conservative movement is being hijacked by someone who's not a conservative.
If you had told me a year ago that the front runner at this stage in the Republican campaign would be a supporter of Planned Parenthood, who says he doesn't stand with Israel, who says that, who has a long record of supporting government-sponsored health care, I would say, on what planet would that be the Republican frontrunner? The conservative movement is hijacked by someone who is not a conservative.
Something else about this straw poll, CPAC also asked attendees